Today we're going to be talking about the Sony A7. Wait, what? The Fujifilm X-E1? Why are we talking about this camera 10 years later? Yes, it looks good in leather and it screams hipster. What makes this camera unique is that it has film emulation, meaning that you could actually emulate a bunch of different film stock. But in 2022, this camera is actually really sought after. Let's talk about why. Before we talk about any of this, let's talk about Fujifilm as a company itself. Fuji Photo Film Co. Ltd. was established in 1934 as a subsidiary of Daiso with the aim of producing photographic films. Over the following 10 years, the company produced photographic films, motion picture films, and X-ray films. In the 1940s, Fuji Photo entered into optical glass, lenses, and equipment markets. Look, without getting too sidetracked here, my point is that these guys have been making film stock since 1934. If it's anybody that knows how to replicate this look with today's technology, it's Fujifilm. So enough with the history lesson. Let's get right into the X-E1 and why it looks so good. Okay guys, let's talk about the most important thing about this camera, which is its usability versus the quality of the pictures. Now I'm going to be really honest with you, it takes great pictures. I mean, I find myself gravitating to want to grab this camera and only this camera and head out for the day, which is not typical of me because I like having 5 lenses with me at all times and 2 cameras, which happen not to be the Fujifilm because this one was lent to me. But if I'm being really honest with you, the user experience happens to be lacking. And obviously it's a 10-year-old camera at this point, so it's gonna have its nicks and quirks. The camera itself is really slow for focusing. So you have to use some hybrid version of back button focus and find your focus and recompose a shot, but it's kind of weird. I'm not sure how to explain it, and it's very slow. Alongside with that is that you actually can't preview, much like a real SLR, what you're shooting with the settings that you're changing. So you just have to use the light meter on the camera, even though it has an LCD screen, which I found very obscure from somebody that uses virtually only Sony cameras, where I could change my settings and see what I'm gonna get before I actually get it. Nonetheless, I have found myself appreciating that because of the fact that I'm taking time to think about what my settings are and how to compose my shot, because I want to have an easier time focusing a camera that actually has a lot of difficulty focusing. With that said, I do want to point out that the film emulation aspect of this camera is absolutely amazing. If this is what Fujifilm offers on a 10-year-old camera of the X-E1, I'm curious what the X-E2, X-E3, and whatever other versions of other cameras that they've released maybe in the last few years actually function like. I feel that we live in an age today where cameras are so advanced that they do so much for you. We have automatic white balance, we have automatic modes that actually don't function all that bad. You know, aperture priority mode, shutter speed priority mode, all these things that really take away from the user experience of learning how to use a camera. And I feel like we're really robbing ourselves from that experience. I mean, don't get it confused. I love my Sony cameras and I love that they do so much, but I also love how this camera makes me slow down and think about the shots that I want to take over and over again. It's like it's giving me a whole new purpose on how to take pictures and photography again. I'm not sure how to explain it, but it feels like it's lit a fire in me where I just want to go out and shoot everything I possibly can, but at the same time, take my time to compose a shot well and tell a story. I'm sure once I return this camera, I'm going to continue that same practice with my Sony cameras and make sure that I take a moment, breathe, and think about what it is that I do want to tell to my viewer at the end of the day. Instead of giving you all the tech specs, I'm going to let this infomercial that I found online do the talking for me. However, it had no audio, so I made my own. So I hope you enjoy my quirkiness. The Fujifilm X-E1. Max focus speed of 0.1 seconds, sometimes 16 megapixel CMOS sensor. The moment is inescapable. The X-E1. All the information that's important about this camera is on the screen right now, so if you want to take a second look at it, just pause the video right now. Let's go ahead and look at the second-hand market on this camera. This camera right now is currently going anywhere between $250 to $300 Canadian with shipping included on eBay. I tried to look up some listings on Marketplace on Facebook, but unfortunately I was unable to locate the camera itself. This leads me to conclude that the camera is either highly sought after or nobody's selling it. What's going on, people? I just want to let you know that a lot of effort went into this video, and I would greatly appreciate it if you took the time out of your day to subscribe and follow my channel. That way, I actually know that you're enjoying my content. Feel free to leave a comment below because I do take the time to respond to every single comment. And for those of you who have made it this far in this video, I just want to extend my utmost gratitude to you. Take care, guys.